You guys, welcome to today's video. Today we are talking about the Viseart Cashmerie Palette. And this is what she looks like. And Lucy's looking. What is it, baby? Already she's talking. This is what it looks like. It's a beautiful palette. If you have never tried Viseart shadows and you have crepiness in your lids, this is a must. Their formulas are unlike anything that I've ever tried before. In fact, their formulas are kind of dry. They don't swatch very well, but on your eyes, they work. They're just workers. Viseart has gone into the cool zone before, and I haven't had much luck in the cool zone with Viseart. I find it's a little too cold, as opposed to being more on the neutral, slightly cool side. So I pulled out a couple other palettes I wanted to compare these to for you. So this is the Cashmerie, which I thought might not be as cold as some of the others. And this is Midsummer. When I look at the browns in Midsummer over here, they're a little too chilly. And when I put this on, there's something just quite not right about it. Here's another one. This is their Petite Fours, which I think these are pretty brilliant, but the shades on me, which I look at and think perfect, they're a little too cool. So this is definitely cooler than this, for sure. And I would say this is cooler than this, for sure. Now, while I was uncomfortable in this, many people said, no, I love these on you. So sometimes it's a matter of getting used to something that is outside your comfort zone. 100%, I recognize that. But I just haven't had any luck. I find that Viseart oftentimes, even though their shadows are beautiful, their curation of palettes somehow doesn't work for me as much as I wish it would. And this is called Viseart Etendu. And again, I look in this range. These are super cool undertones in these mattes. Don't let your eye be fooled or popped by these pops over here. This is kind of like trickery. We're just looking here. And in fact, when I look there, I think the Midsummer, these are the same ranges, the same depth of tone, and the same undertones, and they don't quite work on me. I am hoping, however, that I'll have better luck with Cashmerie. So if you have not been here before, I don't like to swatch this way like that. I like to swatch by color groups so I can really see what I have, if there's anything that's redundant, if there's anything that's missing, and how things can work together. I find it's very helpful for me, and I do that with larger palettes. And since this is 12 pans, I think that's large enough to go ahead and swatch that way. So I'm first going to go here and here. These obviously are related to each other. Now, for shimmer, I'm going to say maybe this one will. Not really. So that's those three colors. This is much more neutral, but it could go any direction kind of a thing, just a little bit of shimmer. One thing I really like about the Viseart palettes is they don't have too many shimmers. There's a lot of mattes to work with. This is a little bit different. This only has one row of mattes. They're not all in one place, but here is your matte, here, here, and here. So there's only 4 mattes, and it's kind of like, well, this is for liner, and this is for all over and for brow bone. This could be transition, or this could be transition to kind of push everything back over here. And then everything else is shimmer. Not my favorite ratio, and I don't know if they did that because it could be anything. But I'm kind of thinking, let's do some browns now. I'm kind of thinking that they did it because so many people love the Denonas and the Pat McGraths, and they want to get in that market. That's my guess. Browns. These are just really, really lovely. I've always appreciated these because the shimmers are very wearable, especially if you're hooded. It's very hard to wear a shimmer because you can't see it. So I'm going to do this because it's in the brown tone. I think this one is cooler I think this one would work out in the browns. So let's just do this and this one, which is a beautiful taupe, and see how this one relates to it. You know, these are all in the same family, I think. Well, they're not in the same family. The one in the middle is much too warm. It could go in that family. But here's some beautiful taupey colors that are not too silver. This one, kind of a lavender. These both appear to be very similar, but on closer inspection, this one, I'm not flipping you off, but that's this one, has a little bit of a taupey nature to it. A little lavender and white gold. So this one almost looks matte on my hand, but when I lift it up here, I can see that sheen. And this is a little bit taupey, so it could go in this group. And this one is just a little bit of lavender. I imagine you could put it in the taupey group or in this muted berry. So I'm thinking we have some browns, we have some taupes, we have some berries, and that's the color story here. You can use them together for tension or just go in one zone. I had got this a week ago, the same time that I got my Lisa Eldridge, and I played with it at night. And I thought, oh yeah, I can get 2 or 3 looks out of this, and I don't remember what I did. And a few days ago, I shot one of the looks, but I don't remember. I don't remember what I did. So I just want to pull out 2 more things to look at. This is the Retro palette from Natasha Denona, and this is the Cashmere palette. I think there's a lot more vibrancy to the Denona palette. I'm sorry. I must be out of practice because this is a little bit out of frame. But there are some similarities that the berry in this, the Cashmere, is similar to some of these, but I do feel it's a little bit more warm than this one. But there's also taupes in here as well. Just saying. So let's go ahead and put some on the lids, and I think I'm going to start with a brownish look. First thing is the cream all over the eye. Oh, and yes, I am still working on the brow situation, you guys. I'm liking the idea of a big brow. I am. But the Mad Love product is weird because it doesn't look like eyebrows. If you have a lot of space, look, right here, I have no brows at all, and it doesn't lay there very nicely. So I'm just trying to figure out how to use that stencil if I don't need to use the powder at all. And I've got some new tools, and once I have it figured out, definitely I'm going to be doing a video on eyebrows. Okay, there's my base. And this is a Chikuhodo GSN 10. I used to use it all the time because it has slant right here. It's perfect for doing a transition. Let's use it now for the transition. Because they are dusty, always a good idea to tap off. And I'm using a very light hand because this is pigmented. And lately I've been putting my chin up so I can see where my socket is, and then opening the eye to see that the color can be seen when you're looking straight ahead, and it cannot, so I need to go a little bit higher. Going to take this Westman Atelier brush and go in with this minky color. So pretty. Look how easy that picks up. This brush is a little bit genius. And it's just a little bit of life. Now I'm going to do my finger because there's a lot more sheen when you do it that way, just so you can see the difference between a flat brush and a finger. Other side. Another thing I like about this brush is you can turn it this way and put it where your so-called crease is and get a very nice blend without having to think about it. So far we've just done this row. Here, here, and here. now this darker color and deepen up around the lash line and just leave it at that. So let's do that, and that'll be our first look. 3 Rephr brushes are fantastic. This one is 03, and they have one larger and one smaller, and they're just so helpful if you have small eyes or if you like to do detail work. They're great. And I'm just going to do this roughly around the lash line. And bring it up a little bit for dimension around the eyeball. Just a little something something. If there's anything left, I'll bring it down here, but not too much. I don't want to make the eyes too small, and I don't want the look to be too dark. And now I'm just going in with this other brush to really work a little bit harder, more detail, to pull that color up a little bit and smudge this a little so it doesn't pull my eyes down as much. And this is from the Sky set from Sonia G. And then I went on with the Givenchy. This is 27 Rouge Infuse. I included this in a video recently, and I love it. They're matte, but they're like a soft matte, not quite opaque, and it feels great on the lips, and I feel like it has a very natural look. It doesn't look like a lip product, although the color isn't 100% natural. And that's it. I think this is an elegant, fast look that you can put together very quickly and feel confident in, and know you can go to it time after time after time, because basically it's this row and that. And that's kind of genius. You could easily do this square right here or this square right here. So I could have added this color. So why don't we? Now this is an interesting juxtaposition because it's like mixing silver and gold jewelry. This is more silver, this is more gold, and it's not for everybody, but let's add this and see what happens. So pretty. It's almost like it's a gold, but it's almost an antiqued gold. And maybe it would have been better in a different position than where I'm putting it, because it is got that lightness to it. But it's not too light, really. And I think this almost changed the color of my eyes. It's so interesting how, if you have hazel eyes in particular, your eye color can change depending on what colors are near it. But I think even people with gray or blue eyes and even brown eyes, the colors can change depending on what's next to it a little bit. And I think this just kind of brought out some warmth. So, a little bit of tweaking. I'm going to take this off and we're going to do a berry eye, I think. So again, I'm going to go quickly with this vanilla shade just to kind of lock down the concealer, but you could use powder if you wanted to. And this concealer actually feels locked and loaded. Same brush, going in with this one. I'm going to pull out for this one and make the eye a little more dramatic looking, as opposed to just kind of having it fade away or taper away. I'm going to change the shape a little bit. Now, I want to bring you in close. My eyes are so mangled and so sensitive, and I did do a laser a month ago, and we did get the top of the eyelids, and yet there are no issues here. There's no skipping, there's no bunching up, there's nothing. And this is a lot. It's like putting shadow on a crocodile, you know what I mean? I think I want to go in with this shade right here because it appears to be kind of a lavender, but it has a taupiness to it. It's so interesting. And this brush is a little bit wet. I just cleaned it a little bit. It's just so gossamer, you know what I mean? This is a shade I could see in Midsummer Night's Dream. And I think this is great for inner corner too, so I want to get another brush. This is the Rephr 26. This is the largest of that taper brush. And put it right in here. I've spot cleaned this brush and I want to go in with this color here. So it's spot cleaned and therefore a little bit wet. So you're probably going to get a little bit of color out of it, a little bit of sheen. I do feel like I need to do some concealer down here, and I want to do just a final blend with a lovely blending brush, my Chikuhodo, although it doesn't really need one. I'm going to do a little bit of something under my eyes, and then I might do a little more serious lining. I'll be back in a flash. Alright, I'm back. I did a little lining with actually the Natasha Denona liner. I'm going a little bit for a cat eye. I just did it here and a little bit here, but I didn't wing because I can't wing. Well, I can, but it's a long story. And then I did inner rim with the MAC, I think it's called the Macro Tech liner, also from her. I'll link it all below. And then I took a little bit of this and went inner corner down below just to open everything up. So this eye is, birds are here, this all over just to set my concealer. This crease, this kind of all over the place, and this in the center. And as I was doing my makeup and my monitor, even though I'm not shooting, the monitor is here, and while I was looking down I thought, oh my gosh, this is so darn pretty. I like this eye better. So let me see if I can fix it up. I just feel like there's a little bit more of that on this side. But this is a beautiful, beautiful look. So there's 3 color stories. I don't remember what I did for my first look, but we will somehow slip that in. I don't know what that segue is going to be because I hadn't thought about it. So let's go into it now. This is the look I shot a couple of days ago. So I'm going to start with the cream and the brown, because this brown might be a little more than I want. So I'm just going to go back to this, and I'm doing gentle, back and forth, back and forth. I'm going to go in with this kind of minky shade with a flat brush. Now I love to go in with shades like this with a fluffy brush to get a little bit of a lighter feeling. But let's do this and see what happens. The outer half at first, just to see what's going on. So it's a beautiful minky taupe. I'm going to put it all over the lid except for the quarter, where I'll go a little bit lighter. So this shade has a little bit of a pink to it. It's kind of like a ballet slipper. That has some very pretty effect to it. I'm just using my fingers so that these 2 colors blend into each other very nicely. Wow, I mean, I can see the effect from over here. This shade here. And I think this will be very helpful because this has a little bit of an aubergine vibe. It's not quite purple because there's a little bit of red in it. Just see if I can pull this out a teeny bit without being too dramatic. Aha! Okay. I'm kind of feeling a vibe, a 60s vibe, which goes with the shirt. If I had false eyelashes, well, I do, but if I knew how to use false eyelashes, but I don't have that magic touch, I really like this. Alright, I'm going to do a little bit of lining, tight lining, a little bit of mascara, and fill out this brow a little bit more, and we'll just come back and finish it up. You guys, I just changed my light because there was too much coldness going on, and there was the coldness of the makeup and the whole bit. So this is what I did. I went on with a little bit of blush. I'm looking at my monitor, I like this so much better. That ring light is just icy cold. Anyway, blush. This is a Viseart blush. If you open the box below, I'll have everything I'm wearing on my face listed. And I went in with this Givenchy again, just the teeniest bit, just to get a little bit of freshness on the lip, because with the light that I had going on, it was looking very, very icy. Now that I've turned off that ring light, there's a little bit more warmth going on here, but there's that. Look number one. And I'm going to change that look just by putting some Intrigue from Lisa Eldridge over it. Intrigue. Now this is much more of a bit of a 60s look, and obviously I was kind of inspired by this shirt, and then I went in with some hoops, and then I kind of took down the hair, and I don't know, a little bit of 60s without being too much 60s. I don't know. I'm enjoying this. All right, let's move into the next look. If you're a beginner, I know from me personally, when I see a lot of colors, it's overwhelming. It's too much. So this is something that you might like. And it's cool without being too cool. And you can do evening, you can do day. Once you figure out what your look is, it's done. So here's evening. I did the day, and then whatever I did, because I don't remember the other day. And Lucy is really ready to go. So that's going to wrap up this video. I hope it was helpful to you guys, and I hope you come back again. Until we meet again, be safe and smart, and I'm wishing you good health.